Prophetic alert. You are being spiritually replaced. Someone else is trying to take your calling. There is a shift taking place in the spirit realm right now. Archangel Michael has released this message with urgency, with clarity, and with divine fire. You are being spiritually watched. You are being spiritually studied. You are being spiritually imitated. This is not your imagination. This is not paranoia. This is a prophetic alert. Your calling is under spiritual review. Someone, somewhere, has seen the light in you and has decided that they can walk in it without the cost, without the suffering, without the sacred covenant you made with the heavens. They are attempting to wear your anointing like a borrowed robe, unaware that it was stitched together by your obedience, your pain, your surrender, and your sacrifice. The heavens do not whisper when destiny is being threatened. They roar. And today, Archangel Michael is roaring through this message. You need to understand the weight of what's unfolding. There is someone who is stepping into your shadow, not because they admire you, but because they believe they can be you. They believe they can occupy the spiritual authority you were assigned. They are attempting to mirror your frequency, to mimic your words, to replicate your energy. But the sacred cannot be copied. It must be cultivated. And their imitation is drawing divine attention. You have 48 hours to recognize the signs. You have 48 hours to spiritually anchor yourself before the enemy attempts to shift into your position. The divine realm is watching. This is not a time to be passive. This is not a time to dismiss spiritual discernment as fear. What you feel is real. What you sense is truth. The one who walks like you, talks like you, even posts like you, they are being fueled by an unseen envy. But the Spirit says, they cannot steal what I sealed. Still, you must awaken. You must rise. You must protect what heaven has placed in your hands. You are not replaceable, but your silence in this season can become a spiritual permission slip for the imitator to move forward. That's why this warning comes now. That's why this fire is falling now. That's why this message found you today. Type "I will protect my purpose" if you receive this warning. Lesson code 444 is now hovering over you. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, sword drawn, wings ablaze, his voice shaking the atmosphere. And this is what he says: be careful. Someone is rehearsing your purpose. Someone is watching your steps not to celebrate you, but to mirror you. Someone is echoing your words not to honor you, but to hijack the attention that was meant to locate your destiny. There is an urgency in the spirit. There is a divine pressure building. Heaven is not just observing anymore, it is intervening. Because what's happening is not just imitation, it is an attempted replacement. And Archangel Michael will not allow your divine assignment to be stolen by a counterfeit who never paid the spiritual price to stand where you are standing. There is a 24-hour window, a divine countdown, and in that time, you are being instructed to listen differently, to watch differently, and to walk differently. You are being called to wake up, because the one trying to walk like you is not just doing it for fun. They believe the light that belongs to you can be transferred to them without war, without cost, without calling. But Archangel Michael says, I see them. I have marked them. I have placed a divine wall between what they want and what they will never hold. Still, your awareness is the key, because this is not the time to be casual about your mantle. This is the time to guard it. This is the time to declare ownership. This is the time to speak your alignment out loud. You are being watched from the shadows. Your voice has stirred something unseen, and this spirit of replacement has emerged to disrupt, to distract, and to deceive. But hear this now, They may copy your movements, but they cannot copy your mission. Heaven's fire was placed in you by divine breath, not imitation. And Archangel Michael declares, "Let no one walk in what they didn't weep for. Let no one take what they didn't bleed for. Let no one claim what they didn't die for in the Spirit." This is a moment of supernatural clarity, a moment where heaven is placing a sword in your hand and saying, "Guard your gate. Guard your grace. Guard your greatness. You are not just someone with potential, you are someone with purpose." And that purpose has drawn both favor and imitation. But now is not the time to be flattered. Now is the time to be focused. You must reclaim your ground, reaffirm your authority, and realign with the voice that called you in the first place. Archangel Michael is not whispering, he is warning. And this warning is not born of fear, but of power. Divine power. Your power. The kind that cannot be transferred, traded, or stolen, unless you leave the gate unguarded. Stand. Away. Rise. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. A conversation is happening behind your back, and it's not just a conversation, it's a conspiracy in motion. Archangel Michael is revealing it now because it has remained hidden for too long. In silence, someone had been studying your movements, rehearsing your tone, and mimicking your essence. They believe if they talk like you, move like you, and show up in places you once stood, they will receive the favor, the recognition, and the spiritual alignment that rightfully belongs to you. But the heavens do not recognize imitation. Heaven responds to authenticity, to the one whose heart has endured, whose soul has been purified through fire. You are not merely talented. You are tested, refined, and destined. Yet they've mistaken your preparation for something they can purchase with pretense. There is an unease rising within you, and you have tried to dismiss it. You have told yourself, "I'm overthinking," but what you're feeling is not anxiety. It is discernment. You are being shown spiritual shadows in human form. The Spirit is pressing you to see beyond the surface. Someone in your environment, either visible or virtual, has been watching you with more than admiration. What began as inspiration has become intrusion. What began as support has become silent sabotage. They are not clapping for your victory. They are calculating your steps. And while you remain gracious, they remain strategic. They have made mental notes of your journey, but they have skipped your sacrifices. They want your crown without your cross. There are fragments of your identity being passed around like rumors. They talk about you with half-truths, twisting timelines, making it seem like your rise was luck, not legacy. Your silence is being misread. Your stillness is being mistaken for surrender. They don't understand that you're not quiet because you're weak. You're quiet because you're wise. You have learned not to cast your pearls before those who carry jealousy behind smiles. Archangel Michael says this is not just a misunderstanding. It's a strategic misreading. They are pretending not to know your worth so they can justify copying your work. But the heavens know. The heavens see. The heavens record every seed you've sown, every tear you shed, every hidden battle you've overcome. You are being called now, not to confront them with words, but to confront the atmosphere with truth. Speak it in prayer. Declare it in silence. Release it in worship. They are not just misinterpreting your journey. They are trying to rebrand it as their own. But this attempt at spiritual replacement will fail. It will fail because what they are reaching for was never meant for them. They do not have the oil. They do not have the scars. They do not have the covenant. Archangel Michael reminds you, Heaven responds to the authentic cry, not the artificial echo. The one who pretends to carry your calling will crumble under the weight of it, because it was never assigned to them. There is a reason your name has been coming up in rooms you haven't entered. It's because your spirit hath been whispering truths people are too afraid to speak aloud. And now those whispers are stirring discomfort. You are a mirror. Those who look at you must face what they are not. That's why they are unsettled. That's why they gossip. That's why they imitate. They want the reflection without the refinement. But you are not here to dim down. You are here to awaken. Archangel Michael says, this disruption is not your defeat. It's your divine distinction. You are being separated, not from people but from pretenders, not from connection but from condemnation. Type ISE through the shadows if you're ready to step into truth. Blessing code 777 is now cleansing your circle. You must understand this clearly now. This is not personal. This is not petty. This is not just about people. This is spiritual. This is sacred. This is warfare disguised as relationship, warfare camouflaged in conversations, warfare dressed up in casual observation. Archangel Michael declares, this battle is not of flesh and blood. It is a confrontation between realms, a resistance rising against your divine ordination. You have not simply been imitated, you have been targeted. And that targeting is not because of your image, it is because of your impact. You have disturbed darkness without lifting a finger. Your very presence speaks in the spirit even when your mouth is closed. This is why the counterfeit came forward. This is why someone is attempting to replace you spiritually, because your light has provoked what was hidden in others. You have awakened dormant envy, unsettled camouflaged competition, and drawn the attention of those who thought you wouldn't notice their quiet strategy. But hear this. You were not called to compete, you were called to carry. You are a carrier of divine assignment, a living scroll of heaven's plan. Your life is not a show, it is a sacred instruction. And those who try to wear your identity without carrying your intimacy will collapse. This is not imitation, it is interference. It is spiritual interference designed to distract, derail, and delay. But it cannot succeed unless you come down from your spiritual post. Archangel Michael is making it clear. You are anointed for elevation, not explanation. Do not waste time trying to defend your authenticity to those who never believed in your divine origin. You were not voted into your calling, you were appointed. Before you had a platform, you had pain. Before you had purpose, you had wilderness. Before you had visibility, you had beacons. And none of they came from human hands. Heaven chose you. Heaven branded you. Heaven sent you. And now, as the enemy tries to reassign your voice, you must remember this. The real cannot be replaced. But the real must stand firm. This is not about personality clashes or human jealousy. It is about territory. There are spiritual gates being opened, and you are the assigned key. There are realms being unlocked, and you are the designated voice. But every new gate invites opposition. Every elevation attracts imitation, and every anointing awakens adversaries. That is why you feel the pressure. That is why you sense the eyes on you. That is why your sleep hath been restless. Because the atmosphere around you has changed. The air is shifting. The realm of the spirit is repositioning. And the counterfeit is being exposed. Archangel Michael wants you to say this aloud. This is not personal. This is prophetic. Say it until it sinks into your bones. Say it until your emotions bow to your discernment. Say it until the fear leaves and the fire returns. The enemy is not after your status. The enemy is after your assignment. Because if your calling is interrupted, then the people assigned to your voice won't hear the frequency of deliverance they've been waiting for. But heaven will not allow that interruption. You are too vital. You are too dangerous to darkness. You are too essential to the next wave of glory. Let this be your awakening. This conflict is not about you. It's about what flows through you. You are a vessel, a trumpet, a divine key. And no impostor, no counterfeit, no spiritual thief can take what is encoded in your spirit. They may try to replicate your outer form, but they cannot replicate your inner fire. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, reminding you of who you are, not who they say you are, but who heaven knows you to be. And that knowing is what keeps you safe, sealed, and sovereign. Type, "This is not personal. This is spiritual" if this message affirms your position. Blessing code 333 is now protecting your path. They are moving faster now. The one who had been observing from a distance, copying in silence, and echoing your words in shadows is preparing to make a move in the open. Archangel Michael has lifted the veil for you to see this clearly, not through fear, but through divine foresight. There is an urgency in the spirit because what was once subtle has now become strategic. The imitation is no longer passive. It is becoming public. Someone is planning to step into the space you cultivated with tears, to speak with the voice you fasted to refine, to position themselves in a seat they were never assigned. This is a spiritual hijack, and heaven will not let it happen silently. Expect communication, odd, sudden, or unsettling. A message may come cloaked in false flattery, a question wrapped in vague curiosity, or even a direct challenge disguised as concern. They may attempt to provoke you, to pull you out of peace so they can justify their next steps. They are seeking an emotional reaction because they know your silence holds weight. They fear your stillness more than your speech because your stillness speaks of spiritual grounding. Archangel Michael says, do not engage in their illusion. Do not lower your frequency to explain your fire to those who only know smoke. In the next 72 hours, the atmosphere will shift again. You may hear your name in places you didn't enter. You may feel your energy being drained by thoughts that aren't yours. That's not paranoia. It's prophetic sensitivity. You are being warned not to be caught unaware. They are not just mimicking your moves. They are trying to announce themselves in your stead. They are preparing to act as if they have received your mantle. But hear this. God does not reassign what has not been released. Your calling cannot be taken. It can only be surrendered. And you have not surrendered. You have endured. You have remained faithful. You have held the line. Let this be your spiritual armor. Discernment is defense. Stillness is strategy. Alignment is access. You do not need to defend your divine assignment. What is truly yours cannot be lost to another's ambition. But Archangel Michael makes it clear, this is not the time to drift. You must be spiritually alert. Check your inner circle. Reassess your connections. Pay attention to the ones who suddenly begin to speak in your language, quote your phrasing, or walk into spaces you've been praying over. That's not a coincidence. It's a counterfeit spirit trying to stake false claim to your identity. And while they attempt to rush ahead, remember, speed is not the sign of favor. Timing is, and your timing is divinely appointed. The counterfeit is trying to move fast to beat the clock, to mimic the calling, to capture the light. But their speed is rooted in desperation. Yours is rooted in destiny. Archangel Michael is guarding the path ahead. The angels are on assignment. You are covered, but you are not excused from awareness. You must watch and pray. You must bind and stand. You must command and declare. Say this aloud now, with conviction. No one can walk in what God has sealed for me. Let the spirit realm hear it. Let the enemy hear it. Let your own soul hear it and rise in boldness. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for conquest. And no false prophet, no spiritual decoy, no jealous mimic can remove you from your post, unless you fall asleep in distraction. Type I will not be moved if this confirms what your spirit already sensed. Blessing code 1212 is now forming divine barriers around your calling. Now is the moment to shield your spirit and reinforce your boundaries. Archangel Michael is standing guard, sword drawn, flame burning, speaking not just to you but for you. And this is what he says: do not explain yourself. Do not chase their opinion. Do not fight their illusion. Let heaven fight for you. The imposter spirit thrives on attention. Do not give it oxygen. Your silence is not submission. Your stillness is not surrender. Your calmness is not confusion. It is power. It is positioning. It is prophetic restraint. And restraint, when rooted in revelation, is warfare without words. You are being told to stay grounded, because storms may rage around you, but the roots of your calling are deeper than they've ever been. Do not uproot your peace trying to prove your purpose. Do not dilute your oil trying to defend your identity. You do not owe anyone an explanation for what God is doing through you. The moment you start explaining the divine to the carnal, you reduce the sacred into something debatable. And your calling is not up for debate. Archangel Michael is releasing a charge right now over your mind, clarity, over your emotions, stability, over your soul, armor, over your space, protection. Do not respond to the energy trying to bait you into reaction. Their aim is not resolution. It is derailment. And you will not be derailed. Not this time. Not this season. You have matured too much, fought too long, been refined too deeply to lose your focus to shadows that can only bark but not bite. You've already outgrown what's now trying to provoke you. And if they're imitating you, it means they're behind you, not ahead. You don't chase echoes, you lead with original frequency. You don't defend placement, you embody purpose. You don't perform for counterfeit approval. You align with divine instruction. In this season, stillness is not passivity. It is prophecy in motion. It is divine wisdom. It is spiritual dignity. The enemy is expecting you to be reactive so they can paint you as unstable. But you are not here to react. You are here to reign. You are here to wear the weight of glory with quiet confidence. You are here to walk like royalty, talk like revelation, and carry the presence of someone who knows heaven has already spoken. And when heaven has spoken, silence becomes your sword. Let them talk. Let them mimic. Let them try. Your silence is not empty. It is charged with divine authority. Archangel Michael is not only watching over you, he is instructing the hosts of heaven to surround your name, your gifts, your territory. You may not see them, but angelic reinforcements are stationed at your side. Your assignment is sealed. Your mantle is guarded. Your destiny is flame-proof. Do not let fear whisper lies in the cracks of your peace. Stand firm. Breathe deep. Anchor down. And declare this now: my silence is power. My stillness is warfare. My protection is divine. Release your desire to be understood in this moment. It is not the time for explanations. It is the time for execution. While they talk, you rise. While they scheme, you build. While they pretend, you become. What they are doing behind your back has no access to where God is leading you next. They are plotting against the current version of you, unaware that heaven is already upgrading you. Stay hidden in obedience. Stay grounded in truth. Stay focused in faith. Type "My stillness is power" in the comments if this word aligns with your spirit. Blessing code 1010 is unlocking divine shields all around you. You have what? You have discerned. You have stayed silent. Now, Archangel Michael says it's time to rise. Rise not to respond, but to reign. Rise not to confront them, but to consecrate yourself. Rise not to argue with those who tried to replace you, but to accelerate beyond them. You are no longer who they thought you were. And that is the threat they feel but cannot name. They studied the version of you that was surviving, but they weren't ready for the version of you that's now soaring. They imitated what was already outdated. And now that the authentic you is stepping forward again, bold, refined, anointed, they will not know how to respond. This is the season where the pretender is exposed by your revolution, because they built their identity around the older version of you. The one still bleeding. The one still breaking. The one still doubting. But the you who is rising now has been through too much, grown too deep, and seen too clearly to ever return to that shell. You're not looking for validation anymore. You're not shrinking for comfort anymore. You're not questioning your voice anymore. You've remembered who you are. And when you remember who you are, no one, not even the most cunning counterfeit, can walk in your authority. Archangel Michael declares, they can mimic your image, but they cannot carry your imprint. What heaven placed inside you is spiritual DNA, unreplicable, unbreakable, undeniable. And you're stepping into a realm now where heaven is about to prove the difference. You are stepping into clarity that silences confusion, into power that shatters pretense, into confidence that makes the imposter tremble. And this transformation is not loud, it's legendary. You don't have to say a word for the shift to be known. It's in your presence. It's in your walk. It's in your stillness. It's in your peace. Because true elevation doesn't need an announcement. It becomes undeniable. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them wonder. You've entered a dimension where access is determined by alignment, not appearance. And they don't qualify. You were chosen. Not liked. Not voted in. Chosen. And that choosing is irreversible. You are becoming the storm they thought they could steal. You are becoming the answer they tried to copy. You are becoming the voice they misquoted. And now, your presence is correcting the atmosphere. Your growth is rebuking their assumption. Your rise is shutting every false door they tried to open in your name. You are the original, the flame, the blueprint. And you're no longer asking permission to become who you were always meant to be. You're not just stepping back into your calling, you are surpassing it. Because heaven never calls you to stay the same. Heaven always upgrades you after every battle. And the battle they started by imitating you has just unlocked a double portion over your life. What they meant as competition became your confirmation. What they hoped would confuse you has clarified your crown. So take a deep breath. Stand tall. Reclaim your space. You are not here to be intimidated. You are here to be revealed. And this revealing will not be stopped by whispering tongues or wandering eyes. You are emerging as the unstoppable version of yourself. And your anointing is announcing your arrival. Type "I am the original" if you feel this shift igniting in your spirit. Blessing code 555 is now activating your divine elevation. It is done. The storm has passed. The tension has broken. The counterfeit has been seen for what they are. And now, Archangel Michael steps forward once again, not as a warrior this time, but as a witness to your emergence. This is your moment of divine resolution. What once tried to replace you will now have to retreat. What once tried to shadow you will now fade in the light you are becoming. You are stepping into your unveiling. This is the season where everything hidden becomes clear, where motives are revealed, where false voices are silenced, and where truth rises with fire in its bones. You will begin to feel the air shift around you. Where once there was friction, now there will be flow. Where once there was confusion, now there will be clarity. Archangel Michael reveals this. There is someone who will come forward in the coming days. They will speak truth. Not everyone who has watched in silence has agreed with the imitation. There is one, maybe more, who has seen the spiritual theft but remained silent out of fear. Now that heaven has moved, their silence will be broken. You will not have to force vindication. It will arrive on its own, clothed in clarity and covered by conviction. You will be publicly affirmed without ever having to defend yourself. That is divine justice. Transformation is not coming. It is here. This is your divine proof that no imitation, no spiritual plagiarism, no shadowed identity can survive in the presence of true light. Your transformation is the sword that cuts through deception. Your glow is your rebuke. Your movement is your message. Archangel Michael says, you have passed the final test before your elevation. You didn't just survive the attack, you refined your fire through it. You didn't just ignore the noise, you allowed it to amplify your alignment. And now, because you chose spiritual stillness over emotional outburst, the heavens are opening in your favor. There will be a reward. Not because you fought, but because you didn't need to. Not because you exposed them, but because you chose to stay covered. And when you stay covered under divine order always reveals what needs to be removed. Doors that were shut will now open. People who overlooked you will now remember you. Spaces that ignored you will now be reordered in your favor. But you must not return to the old you. You must not step backward into the identity you've outgrown just to make others comfortable. This version of you, elevated, anointed, unbothered, is who the world truly needs to meet. Let this be clear. The one who tried to take your place cannot handle your process. And now, they will be forced to watch as the very grace they tried to steal is multiplied in your life. They will witness what true favor looks like. Not favor built on imitation, but favor birthed from integrity. Not favor gained through manipulation, but favor grounded in divine timing. You are not just reclaiming your position. You are being upgraded beyond the reach of those who once sought to mimic you. And in this moment, as the dust settles and the spirit world recalibrates, Archangel Michael speaks one final prophetic decree. Divine favor is forming in your atmosphere. Respect evasion. Respect exposure of lies. What was once a threat has become your confirmation. What was once warfare has become your testimony. And you will walk forward not as a victim, but as a voice. Unchanged by their schemes, but transformed by your surrender. Type I am walking into my favor if this message resonates. Blessing code 888 is now unlocking divine justice and acceleration in your atmosphere. The atmosphere is open. The realm is listening. The portals of destiny have widened, and this is the moment when what you speak becomes what you step into. Archangel Michael says, now that you've seen what was trying to spiritually replace you, It's time to step forward like never before. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. Do not wait for confirmation from those who once doubted you. The confirmation is this message. The alignment is this moment. The activation begins now. You are being divinely summoned to declare who you are, not just in belief, but in bold, unwavering action. This is not the season for passive agreement. This is the season for prophetic declaration. If you stay silent now, you risk delaying what heaven is urgently trying to release. Your words are not empty, they are weapons. Your agreement is not casual, it is contractual. The heavens need your yes. The spirit realm awaits your sound. And every time you affirm your calling, every time you say, I am chosen, or I will not be replaced, or my mantle is mine, the shadows lose their grip. The imitators lose their footing, and the divine pathway opens wider beneath your feet. You are not waiting on the right moment anymore. You are the right moment. You are not waiting for permission. You are the permission. You are not waiting to be seen. You are the light that reveals itself. And when you respond in faith, all of heaven responds with power. Archangel Michael urges you now. Type it. Declare it. Speak it. Shout it. Move on it. Let this not just be a moment of revelation, but a moment of revolution. A spiritual uprising where you take back everything that the enemy tried to assign to a counterfeit version of you. Say it with boldness. I will not be replaced. Say it again. Let your bones hear it. Let your soul agree. Let your enemies tremble. Because every time you speak from alignment, the false systems begin to crumble. Every time you type in agreement, the atmosphere shifts. Every time you proclaim your identity, heaven moves resources, releases reinforcements, and raises the volume on your name in divine realms. This is your assignment: to walk boldly, to speak with authority, to type with conviction, to pray with power. You are not doing this for validation. You are doing this to activate your assignment. Those who replace themselves with imitation have no idea how dangerous your obedience is. Because the moment you obey, cycles break. Curses are canceled. Altars collapse. And your true calling expands. There is no force stronger than a soul aligned with heaven's instruction. So I urge you now, not as a suggestion, but as a prophetic command, take this message seriously. Let your spirit align. Declare your name in the heavens. Type it below. Boast it aloud. Share this truth. Move with intention. Heaven has waited for your agreement. The battle is shifting because of your alignment, and your actions are the key. Type, I will not be replaced. I am called and carried if you agree with this divine timing. Blessing code 7777 is now breaking every spiritual impersonation and releasing power into your future. If this message resonates with you, and you feel led to support the release of more prophetic guidance like this, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of $10 or more. Your support helps bring more heavily aligned messages to those who need them most. Your kindness is deeply appreciated. You have made it through the storm of substitution. You have walked through the valley of spiritual impersonation. You have survived the unsettling feeling that someone was trying to step into your divine shoes. And now, Archangel Michael speaks with clarity and conviction over you one final time. You are not replaceable. You are the revelation. You are not the echo. You are the sound. You are not the shadow. You are the light. You are not the backup plan. You are the blueprint. Let every false image, every mimic, every unassigned spirit be silenced by the roar of your resurrection. What they tried to do behind your back has only sharpened your discernment. What they attempted in secret has only elevated your voice in the spirit. What they mimic from your past cannot stop the momentum of your future. You are no longer who they studied. You are no longer who they stalked. You are no longer who they tried to become. You are becoming, and they cannot keep up. Because your growth is not surface level, it is spiritual. And what is spiritual cannot be tracked by those still moving in the flesh. Archangel Michael reminds you, they tried to replace you, but only revealed your significance. They tried to copy your fire, but caught smoke. They tried to rehearse your voice, but missed your vibration. They tried to predict your rise, but heaven always moves in mystery. What they don't understand is that your process was the power. Your pain was the path. Your silence was your strategy. And now, your stillness is your throne. You are sitting in the seat they could never sustain. You are walking in a frequency they can't fake. You are radiating with anointing they can't replicate. So let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them wonder in confusion while you rise with confirmation. You don't have to prove your place. Heaven already did. You don't have to scream your truth. Your transformation speaks louder than anything you could say. And when you walk into rooms now, the atmosphere will shift, not because of your name, but because of your presence. You are not walking in pride. You are walking in prophecy. Every step forward is a declaration. I was not replaced. I was refined. I was not dismissed. I was designed. I was not overlooked. I was overprepared. This is the moment to breathe, to release, to know, to rest in your revelation. You don't need to chase down every lie. You don't need to confront every copy. You don't need to respond to every misrepresentation, because you know who you are. And more importantly, heaven knows who you are. And that knowing is unshakable. That truth is unmovable. That affirmation is eternal. You were marked before the foundation of time. You were set apart before they ever tried to study you. You were called before the counterfeit ever found your name. So rise, not with vengeance, but with vision. Rise, not with offense, but with obedience. Rise, not with bitterness, but with brilliance. Archangel Michael stands beside you, wings stretched wide, declaring to every realm, this one cannot be touched. This one cannot be taken. This one cannot be replaced. You are not a victim of imitation. You are the embodiment of revelation. And your time is not coming. It is here. Type I am unreplaceable. I am the revelation if this word has sealed something within your soul. Blessing code 0000 now surrounds your future with divine fulfillment.